What's going on, y'all? My name's Josh. You can call me Anoriand, and today I want to talk to you about a new game that I'm going to be covering pretty consistently moving forward with multiple videos that I have planned, and I'm really excited to get into, called Sword of Convallaria, a new free-to-play mobile tactical RPG. It's going to be available on mobile platforms and on Steam, and yes, there's going to be gacha elements and the like, but there's a lot of things that separate this from normal gacha games, and I'm going to be able to attack it from an angle of free-to-play because of how they built, and so we can focus on the good aspects of the game without me feeling like I'm sending people down the road of constantly having to buy things, but I will also have videos for people who are interested in that. So, for this video, I decided I'm just going to give people an introduction. What is Sword of Convallaria? What are the cool things about it? What am I looking forward to? Why you should be looking forward to it, and so on. A little peek behind the curtain. Right now, it is the wee hours of the morning, just after midnight on the 23rd. This video should go up either sometime today or tomorrow, the 24th, which means it will be 1 week out from the release of the game, which is the 31st. As I said, Sword of Convallaria is a tactical RPG. It is very much influenced by several games of the genre, and let me tell you, I like tactical RPGs, y'all. Okay, I really like tactical RPGs. You can't even get this steel case in America, by the way. I got this because I worked with Square on a video for the release of Tactics Ogre Reborn. I'll put a card in the video right over here, showing you that video if you are interested in my thoughts on that. By the way, it is an excellent game. But Sword of Convallaria takes a lot of influence from several other games, and we will be going over those. So, for starters, let me go ahead and bounce on over. And I'm just going to play the base video trailer, and then there's two different trailers. I'm going to play both of them underneath myself while I'm talking, pointing some stuff out. We're first going to play this one. This one is going to have a bit more of a just understanding the story feel. You can see here, you've got, I'm instantly in. I'm instantly in. Okay? The actual game is obviously very different in terms of appearance, but like the sort of soft pastel anime aesthetic is used for the various character portraits and things like that. But the game takes a lot of inspiration, I found, from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance in terms of its presentation. The gameplay itself is good old-fashioned turn-based tactical RPG. You have your units. There's own enemy units, you take your turn moving all your people, then the enemy gets their turn moving all their people. Very Fire Emblem-esque in that it's all of your units, then all of their units. So you don't have to worry about a speed stat or anything like that in reference to how early everything gets to go. Following that, you have gacha elements as well, which I will be obviously getting into. But the game has three main game modes. One of which is called The Fool's Journey. I was about to say The Fool's Errand. The Fool's Journey, which is sort of like the basic story. And Spiral of Destiny, which is like a secondary story that involves... It's sort of like a what-if compared to the first story. I don't want to spoil too much of the story yet. I'm going to wait till the game comes out, because I'm going to, give people a chance to hop in, whatever. But the very basic of the story is... The Fool's Journey starts with a set of events. The Spiral of Destiny story literally looks at what if things went differently in the first one. You can see here in the graphics above me what I was talking about with the soft pastel anime-esque graphics, very akin to Tactics Ogre Reborn for the character portraits and the like, but the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance sort of chibi style sprites, which I do very, very much enjoy. The other cool thing I do want to point out, this game has what they refer to as NeoPixel graphics, which is to say you have 2D sprites for the characters, but then you have 3D pre-rendered graphical areas. So it looks awesome. The character designs look great. It's super, super cool. The reason why I am so excited about this game and willing to push this versus other gachas, because let me tell you folks, I have played multiple gacha games. I have put years of my life into Final Fantasy Record Keeper, into Fire Emblem Heroes, into War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, into Final Fantasy Ever Crisis most recently. Like, I am good with these games. I like them. But I don't really push them because, if we're going to be honest, Gacha games do rely on predatory things. They rely on predatory monetization for people who have bad tendencies. There is the sense of needing to get the coolest, most powerful character. Power creep is always going to be a thing. However, the thing about Sword of Convallaria is for the main story mode, you're actually limited in how much the gacha intercepts. You do get gacha currency from playing it. But, for instance, in Spiral of Destiny, you play through a story with branching paths, so you can actually do multiple playthroughs. But you play through a story with branching paths, and the game gives you a preset smattering of characters. And you can import up to 3 of the gacha characters you pull, and that's it. And those characters, no matter how much you've powered them up outside of that mode, they straight up immediately go down to level 1, basic status, basic everything, and you have to build them up as if it's a fresh RPG campaign. So sure, having more characters does give you more options, but it's nowhere near necessary. The game is actually balanced around the idea of being able to use the smattering of units you get and the units you can recruit with the in-game pure, like, straight-up gold currency that you can't even purchase through the mode in order to beat it. So that will be a situation where I can show you all various... let me go back to here so I can start showing, some pictures of the game. That will be a situation where I can show people, if I find that a mission is a little bit difficult, or if people are telling me that they're playing and a mission is a little bit difficult, maybe there's some optional things that have to be done for it as far as requirements of you have to beat this mission in X number of turns or anything like that. I can maybe make videos showing that off because I tend to enjoy the tactics of it all. And then on the flip side, there's going to be PvP. There is going to be also a trial mode, which is a third mode, which that is going to be geared towards having good, powerful characters. So I'm obviously going to go ahead and make videos talking about characters. Like, I can't really cover a mobile game like this and not talk about the various gacha characters. I can tell you now, the next video I have out, I've been doing tons of research on this game. The next one is going to be a unit tier list of the various characters you can pull from the beginning and letting you know which ones, because this game already released overseas. There is a Taiwanese version, there is a Chinese version as well, I believe. This game is already released overseas, and so generally, for those of you who are unfamiliar with gacha games like this, you tend to get a look out because they'll have the game going for however long, and then when they come over here, they set it back to where it started and do the same thing. So we kind of get an advanced look. Sometimes they'll tweak things here or there if they feel they need to, but for the most part, it kind of comes along to us in the same rate it came to them, so you get an idea of what's coming. So we have about a year worth of look out. And to give you an idea of how much power creep has not fully wrecked this game or anything, several of the characters who are considered top tier when the game first comes out are still considered top tier now. So I'm going to be able to get into all that. I'm going to get into some of the characters you get automatically, things like that, some of the things to look for. That's another thing, you will get several characters automatically through the time of playing the game. Again, I really like that. I like games that are willing to do right by the free-to-play players to make sure they feel invested. We all know the whales are how you make money. That is a thing. We all get it. But the more that I can feel that I can confidently come in front of you and say, hey, here's how you can do things to where you can save your money as much as possible, to where you can keep things for yourself, build up, and you can focus on grabbing this character who's coming down the line or that character who's coming down the line who actually rounds out your team as opposed to just the next strongest person, makes a huge difference in my willingness to show it off. So, like I said, I will be making videos of that as well. One thing I want to point out with the combat, with the way the game plays, there's out-of-combat segments in Spiral of Destiny where you are running the Sword of Convallaria, as the game is named after. It's a mercenary group, and so you can do individual missions, and you can also do, quarry, or, send-offs. I'm forgetting the exact name. It's blanking for me right now. It's after midnight. Where with me? But you send off some of your units to, get you supplies and things like that. Very similar to something like Fire Emblem Three Houses, how you would have the weeks roll by and you would have activities you can do during the week and then the storyline continue. Something along those lines. So there's a bunch of different stuff to get into. And then once you get into combat, you can see here, tactical, turn-based grid map combat, plenty to do. There's a lot to do with moving enemies around. You can see over here, where I've got the mouse pointing right now, that is a flaming barrel. You can knock an enemy into that, it will explode, deal extra damage. You can knock an enemy into the wall and deal extra damage. There will be pitfalls. There will be areas where it's just like a sheer cliff, and you can knock an enemy off. They can also do that to you. So there's a lot of having to plan your movements in advance and whatnot. There is a classic Fire Emblem-esque weapon triangle involved in this game. There are 5 different classes. They are the Defender, the Seeker, and the Breaker, I believe, is the other one's name, that form a triangle. Defender beats Seeker, which is the shield, beats the, like, it's like a throwing star situation. Seeker beats Breaker, which is a red one. It's a sword. The Defender is green. The throwing star is blue. And then Breaker beats Defender. So you're going to want a mix of classes available to you and leveled up, because if people stack a team one way, you want to be able to stack it the other. The other two are... I'm blanking on the name, but they are... It's basically a light symbol and a dark symbol. The dark one has some of the best stats, and they're very powerful. And they are weak to the light one, who tends to not be as strong, but they do counter there. So it's one of those situations where it's like a weird sort of, we're not as strong, but we can do support and things like that, but we can whip their ass, and they can whip almost anyone's ass. So it gives a sort of cool setup to the whole thing. I love the multiple layers of it. This right here is a character who you will get right out the gate from your very first pull, basically guaranteed. Her name is Maitha. She is a defensively focused character. She is a defender, and she has a lot of skills based on being able to move people and things like that. Notice right here in the very skill they're showing off, causes 20% damage one time, 50% damage 3 times, and knock back the target by 2 tiles. So that is in total 170% normal damage, and you knock a unit back. She's got moves that definitely focus on like shoving people around and what have you. You get her for free. She's not even considered bottom tier, to give you an idea. Again, I really feel they have a very cool, generous system, at least with the first year, which is part of what has me excited to cover the game. You can see here, I'm just kind of going through pictures to give you an idea of some of the characters. Here's Gloria. She's another high tier unit that I'm going to get to show you when I do my tier list. Hopefully that will be out either Friday or Saturday. I do want to have it out well in advance of the launch of the game. My current video timeline, just so you know, is I'm doing this video as soon as possible. The next video is going to be a unit tier list with sort of that 1-year forecast built in to maximize your value on which characters you should be aiming for and what you should be thinking about, but also looking at some of the advantages of the characters who aren't necessarily at the top tier, and why this is more just for people who specifically want to get into the hardest trials, the heaviest PvP content, anything along those lines. And then when the game comes out, I am going to figure out the best and most effective method of re-rolling. For those who don't know, re-rolling is the process when you start a new account, you take the various currency for pulling new characters, things like that, whatever it is, and you pull a bunch, you see what characters you get, you decide in that moment if you want to keep this account or if you want to restart. Generally, there's sort of like an optimal point for checking stuff like that, so I'm going to see, like, what is the optimal amount of time, because I do know they're providing, because enough people pre-registered, several summons to start with, things like that. So is it a hypothetical situation where, you know, within 10 minutes you get, you know, 40 pulls or whatever it is, or is it a situation where if you put in, you know, you can get 10 pulls, which 10 is generally how you would want to do a stack, 10 pulls or 20 pulls, but if you put in 10 more minutes of work, you can get another 10, like something like that. I want to show y'all the process, tell you the most efficient way to do it and all that. I will tell you, this is a game where you may honestly have more fun with it, kind of just rolling with whatever units you get. I don't want anyone to feel pressured, but I do want to provide that information for anyone who wants it. And then after the game is out, I do plan on making videos showcasing particular tech, cool, you know, various challenges that can be noted along the way, and things like that. This is Gloria, as I said, one of the high-tier characters. She is super cool. A lot of the character designs are so good. Again, very evocative, not quite Tactics Ogre in this, you know, not quite the watercolor-ish look they did with a lot of the hand-drawn portraits, but evocative of the feeling that it gives, which I really enjoy. The story also has branching paths, much like Tactics Ogre, where in order to get all of Spiral of Destiny under your belt, you're gonna have to play through it multiple times, making different choices, because your choices will affect your storyline path, and the game actually will show you the different branches you can take, and where branch points are, and how they diverge and eventually possibly converge. So, again, a lot of content available, a lot you can do for free. The game is free to download. Okay, you can wishlist it right now on Steam. Like I said, it comes out the 31st. And I want to be very clear. I really, really hope I get the opportunity to work with the devs on Sword of Convallaria. I really hope I get the opportunity. Maybe they'll let me see some content early. Maybe they'll, give me some sort of cool situation for showing off the game. I have no connection to the team whatsoever. I just think this game looks really, really cool, really interesting, and I'm really excited to show it all off. The character designs are interesting. I was joking around with some people before. The main character, for those of you who played Triangle Strategy, I'm looking at him and calling him Discount Serenoa. He does look a lot like Serenoa from Triangle Strategy, but it's totally fine. When you see his actual face, things like that, there are differences, but the sprite is very close. But it just looks so good. I'm really excited. And this is the kind of thing where I feel I can put out some constant content to show you guys something cool and unique, something I'm interested in, something I have a lot of energy for, something I have a lot of passion to be able to talk about, and something I'm really excited about diving into that I'll be getting into regularly that will respect your time. It only requires a couple of minutes a day to do the daily stuff. So you'll want to probably log in a couple minutes a day to do daily things just to get all the benefits. But outside of that, you'll have all the time in the world to play by your leisure. It respects your money. You can get a ton of content playing free to play. So you can decide if you want to spend a few dollars. I will probably look and see and, get advisement from people who have played overseas based on long-term stuff and whatever. If there is a really good value for something you can spend a few dollars on, if it's your choice, I can tell a bunch of people will play this on Steam, but a bunch of people will play this on, for instance, an Android-based device. If you have Google Play rewards, you could maybe have a couple of bucks built up and throw it into that. Again, I'm not going to force anyone. I'm not even going to make my content based on the idea that you necessarily have done these things. I'm just going to eyeball it for everyone. And in addition to respecting your time and respecting your money, it's clearly making a good product. These characters are cool. The designs are awesome. The game looks vibrant. It's colorful. The sound is something I got to point out. The sound effects are great. And the music, a bunch of the music was done by Hitoshi Sakamoto. For those of you who don't know, Hitoshi Sakamoto is a composer famous for, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy XII, Tactics Ogre. Like, they put effort in this, y'all. I am really, really excited to dive into it. I think it's going to be an excellent game. I think it's going to be worth your time. I think it's going to be worth your effort. And I really, really hope some of y'all will come on this journey with me, as many of y'all as possible. So please, do me a favor before I send this away. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the game. If you've heard about it, if you're excited about it, if you're going to be pre-registering, what platform you're going to play it on. I know I'm going to show y'all on Steam. I'm trying to decide if I want to have a second account, if I want to have one on Steam for everything I'm showing you for content, and then one on my phone that I do secondarily. I might do the one on Steam and just not re-roll. The one on my phone, I do re-roll. I don't know. I'm still deciding how I'm going to do that. Leave a like if you liked the video. Please subscribe to see more. And like I said, you will be having plenty more content coming soon. I can promise you no less than 2 more videos by the 1st. The tier list video will also be out before the game comes out, and the reroll video will either be done on the 31st when it drops, but I don't know if I'll be able to get it up that same day when you count editing, rendering, and the like, and figuring out what the best process is. It will most likely be up on the 1st, so that'll be available to you if you're not able to get there right on day 1. But thank you all so very much for watching. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And until next time, I'll catch you later, fam. All right.